People have to face different situations and choices in their lives. Some we can decide on our own, the other left to reality. Life is full of uncertainty. What we can do is just prepare well to face the unknown future. Then we won't be panicked when it comes to the time to make choices. Make our choices more powerful. In 1998, Mr. and Mrs. Chen attended their son's PhD graduation ceremony in America. Mr. Chen walked so slowly at that time. His wife reminded him should lose weight. Then his family found him had some difficulty in walking. After coming back to Taiwan, Dr. Qingbiao Cai, VGH Taipei, diagnosed him with motor neuron disease, aka MND in short. Dr. Cai diagnosed him with motor neuron disease. That was what I say. Look at you. You don't work out at all and are reluctant to have a walk with me to San Yat-sen Memorial Hall. Just focus on your paper every day. Dr. Cai told me seriously, Mrs. Chen, you are wrong. The MND is nothing to do with working out or not. It is an illness of a motor neuron. Dr. Cai explained a lot to me. After that, I realized the disease was serious and asked Dr. Cai how much time left for me to accompany him. It was such a shock for Mrs. Chen. She decided to retire from her job as a teacher without any mental preparation in order to take care of her husband. One night, Mr. Chen was sent to emergency department of Tri-Service General Hospital because of dyspnea. Doctor gave him an endotracheal intubation and transferred him to the ICU. There were so many unexpected changes that need to be tackled down. The head nurses asked me if I made a decision, tracheostomy or not. In my viewpoint, there are so many tubes in his mouth. These tubes have kept him alive. He is alive. Why tracheostomy? Then she told me the tracheostomy operation is necessary for him to keep alive. She also told me the tubes in his mouth are not long-term solutions. Those tubes will leave some sequelae to his throat. Those wounds may lead more air leakage. In the future, you have to decide as soon as possible. Okay, my children also agreed to this suggestion. That's it. We have agreed with the tracheostomy.
MND will cause the respiratory muscle failure inevitably at last. Then it will obstacle his respiratory function. The tracheostomy operation and the respiratory muscle training are inevitably decisions.
In 2004, Mr. Chen received the Award of Love of Life from Da Guanzhou Foundation. The award confirmed his contribution to life education. He has much passion in his life and he always thinks what else he can contribute to help people and society. Every time he presented his book on launch party, the media will report his story and gave him positive reputation. The story will bring positive effect to others in fact. I think that is why he is willing to keep working on writing in a very difficult way through his phonetic board. What he gets in return is human dignity. It makes him dignified by helping others. During the 16 years to accompany Mr. Chen, Mrs. Chen became an expert of MND from a layperson. She helped Mr. Chen to write down his life story, 10 years as a day, created 7 books, 350,000 words. It also broke the Guinness World Records by writing through the phonetic board. MND, to some degree, is the critical helper of their lives. Besides the time of writing, I also joined the Teachers Society and a book club. Absorb everything like a sponge. My life became more open and abundant than before. My life also told me to be humble through all the encounters. I also made friends with many people. They broadened my horizons. I felt that was very good.
Some patients worry that they will be bedridden all day long after the tracheostomy. Then they can react to anything. Their quality of life will become worse. They think themselves a burden to others, but they should not think so. Though they become paralysis because of the illness, their minds are still normal. They can contribute the world with their brains. They can write articles and still have the influence to contribute the world and the academic circles. So all the patients should not underestimate themselves. You can do a lot of contribution if your mind is normal.
Damo Chen, a handsome basketball star player in Soochow University, has hearty personality. After receiving a PhD degree in America, he went to Shanghai to start a consultant firm and met his destiny, Kiki, and got married. I have never regarded him as a patient. When he proposed to me, I hesitated at that time. The only thing in my mind was that I would leave my hometown and go to Taiwan with him. It was an unknown future. I didn't know how it would be, so I turned him down to his first proposal. But I thought about he would be paralyzed gradually. He needed someone beside him, the one who take care of him every day. I said yes at last and got married with him. In the summer in 2009, Kiki settled down with Damo in Taiwan. She took care of his daily life. However, his condition was getting worse, and she felt a lot of pressure day after day. Their everyday life before the tracheostomy was so terrifying to me and the caregiver. Emergency occurred at any time. We couldn't deal with those sudden situations, such as if he has dyspnea or the ventilator cannot pump air. How should I do? He was often shocked. We went to the emergency department so many times, twice or more times a month, even on holidays, every day. We were so panicked and worried. Lying on the bed is always calm and free. Due to the onset of his father and sister, Damo has a mind of thinking ahead to face the illness. Prepare the need of care in advance. He don't want to be hard, worry about he cannot communicate with Kiki and will become a burden to his family. Damo always avoids talking about the tracheostomy. In the spring in 2012, he shuttled between home and the emergency room of Zhongxiao Hospital. He was hospitalized, then came back home many times in a month. He was back and forth very often. Then we hired a caregiver to help Damo when he couldn't cough the sputum out. One of us pressed his belly and used the cough assist machine. I was the one to press his belly and the caregiver helped him to wear the mask. The process occurred once a week. We repeat the whole process from morning till night. Repeat it again and again. When the day was over, the next day we could take a break. But the frequency became 7 days a week in the end. It made us have pains on our backs. In order to help him cough the sputum and mucus out, I found the process was very hard. In the meantime, Damo's attending physician, Dr. Qixun Huang, had a conversation to me seriously. He told us to consider the tracheostomy. Kiki called herself as a pillar to Damo. The communication between the couples was important. If not, there was no meaning of life anymore. Damo's brother-in-law told Kiki that he shuttled between Hualien and Taipei to accompany his wife every week. Only a glance sometimes, he would know what was on his wife's mind thanks to the assisted devices. It is not necessary to communicate with patient via language. What he said just made her realize the problem of communication was solved. We only have each other. Watching Damo has been so hard. We couldn't bear that. Damo said he wanted to find some meanings of his life, which made him feel the sense of value. We didn't know whom we could discuss to. That was not an easy answer. One day, we listened up to the music together on the variety show Sing China. A song called The Heart Is Beating came to us suddenly. We both deeply touched. I look at Damo and say, I wish I could see you every morning when I wake up. Damo had the same feeling too. I think only one exists in the world that would be possible for him to explore the meaning of his life. If one loses his life, nothing is possible, so we decided to accept the tracheostomy. After a year of preparation, Damo accepted the tracheostomy. He tried hard to connect the world. Besides the activity of association, he went any places whenever there was a need. He went to university campus to advocate the education of life. Many thanks to Professor Mengfeng Su, performed in our Qixiang wards. Kiki had much time to study. Not only she received her master's degree of EMBA, but also put herself in activities of marathons and the chances of exposure of our association. In 2012, Kiki was elected as a director of International Alliance of ALS and the MND Association. In 2015, she hosted the conference in Asian Pacific area. She increased the international visibility of ALS-MND patients in Taiwan. We had intention quarrels in 3 months after the tracheostomy. We felt much pressure. To the quarrels between me and Damo, one of us would get out from that first. We wouldn't keep arguing long. He felt tired, then I told him I needed to be alone outside for a walk. In the beginning, I just walked around the Sun Yat-sen Memorial Hall, but I am an impetuous person. When I saw others passing by me, I even had not finished my halfway. I decided to run next time. 1 lap at first. I kept running. I feel exhausted when I was running. I thought of Damo at those moments. Suddenly, I realized the feeling of dyspnea. I kept running ahead. From half marathon, full marathon, to the Gobi Desert race, experienced my body condition under that extreme environment. I thought, Damo lives in the same situation every day. Compared to him, things seem to be okay for me. I could get through all the difficulties to every coming challenges. I just wanted to exceed myself. Mr. Yanxin Liu accepted the tracheostomy after the emergency. Though he was reluctant to do that, it became the fact. His family took good care of him after that. His firm attitude towards individual life made him as a role model to other patients.
His body is in a good condition. The mechanism of his organs are very good, so after the tracheostomy, his quality of life improved a lot suddenly. The agility of his eyes made him control the computer smoothly. Even the pressure of his breath seems to be vanished. So he got good quality of life after the tracheostomy. His condition has been good from that time. He spent a long time with his children, watched them grow up, and was with his wife for a long period. So I thought he didn't regret during this period at all. He asked himself some certain words often. There was a sick father or no father. Which case was better for his children? He asked himself. For many times he realized a sick father was still a father there, but no father there would be less support. So when he used his eyes to control the computer, he could communicate with his children. He instructed the homework for them. So before the tracheostomy, patient should estimate the whole conditions based on individual's case. It is very important.
Yanxin Liu was the first MND patient using eye control computer. His experience made him understand the devices of communication was so important. So Mr. Liu launched a program named Open a Window and won support from the association. Then he cooperated with technology company and